Hello everybody, Demon Redness here, and I'm absolutely buggered. I've been cleaning for the last 2 days because I've got a fly inspection tomorrow and I've still got more cleaning to do. I'm taking a break and I need to try and get a bit of practice because I missed the practice session from the DGT League earlier, so yeah. Now, I know a couple of the guys are currently on doing some random races, but I am literally only planning on doing 40 minutes and then done. Okay, so Red Bull Ring with a Ferrari. A couple of things we need to watch out for. The understeer that this car inherently has, we need to be careful with that. So that means even if you can brake at 100 metres for turn 1 and turn 2, that's only really going to be in qualifying. In the race you ain't going to be doing it for very long, and then you'll end up having crashes. So the key here is going to be patiently aggressive through turns 1 and 2, patient in 3, the middle sector, that's where we need to look after the tyres, really, and the final 2 corners is all about making sure we get the right line on the track. Get the right line on the track, we'll look after the tyres anyway. Okay, let's see what time is on the clock. Okay, so we're going to want to go for 43 minutes. Okay, it's going to be braking a bit before 100. Didn't quite get up to the apex. It braked at the 100 and it did not like it. Now, I'm not going to make out that I'm going to tell people at this point what they should be doing in the corners, because I still need to work it out for myself. Perhaps at 100. Needed more brake there. need to brake a little bit earlier than I am doing. Carrying too much speed to the corner. I can't turn it in. A little bit too much wheel spinning first. Probably going to be second. That was a little better. Only got oversteer on the exit, so still steering quite a bit. Too late on the brakes again. Doesn't want to stop. Tell you what, the braking, it's not liking the braking on the roundest track. Or at least I must be braking too late. Back up. sector. Actually, the worst final sector. Yeah, we don't really want second gear for that corner. Just bouncing the limiter. Fairly even tyre wear at the moment. Brakes a touch late there. So 10 minutes in, the projection's not too bad. Need to do that in second gear. Braking about 125 here. I think anything beyond 125 is too late. Seem to be able to use third or fourth here. It tends to, if you get the car slowed down enough, you can take fourth gear through that. It sounds slow and feels slow, but it isn't. The third gear does give you a slightly better turn in. Okay, either I braked a little bit late there, or it needs the engine braking and the extra direction. Sliding a bit there. Now what I will say is, have a look at how much steering angle I'm putting on. But also in any moments where I get understeer, what I'm doing with the steering, because I'm not turning it more, I'm coming off the steering. Okay, maybe first is better. Okay, so the car's starting to slide a little bit now. I need to rein it in a little bit. Because one of the things about this track is if you overheat your tyres, there isn't really anywhere to give them a rest. So the only way you can do it is by braking a little earlier, braking gentler, or lifting, coasting, and then using less brake. Messing like that. Clobbered too much curb here. That was a terrible luck. Now one thing I will say is, if you do hit the apex curve, like I have done there, you have to be prepared to come off the steering straight away. And be prepared for a little bit of oversteer on the exit. Okay, car is definitely sliding. Now, when I say sliding, I'm not going on the sound of the tyres, it's the feel. Well, what tends to happen around this track as well is if you get a bit sideways around turn 1, turn 2 and 3 considerably harder. about coming up to the 20-minute mark. So again, as soon as I clumped that curve, I knew I'd be getting oversteer on the exit. So if I keep turned in, it'll be doubly bad. And again, got a bit sideways at one, and then struggled a bit in two. Now I will say, looking at that rear left tyre, a one stop at this stint would not be nice. Going to try a little change of brake bias. Okay, brake bias did not help there. Now, for anyone that may be wondering at this point, if you're still watching, brake bias was not nice there. Yeah. How would we be able to look after the tyres? Well, basically, it's quite simple around this track. And that is, don't brake too late. So for turn 1 it's about 120 metres, for turn 2 it's about 115 metres, turn 3 is about 125 metres. The second part is, do not steer too much. You should notice I'm not going more than, what, 90 degrees? So it's like hand to the top, that's about the maximum, even in the tight corners. And the other way is, like for example here, not getting on the throttle too soon. You can stay off it. You can do the same around the final couple of corners. Stay off the throttle and just make sure that you've got the car going in the right line. and accelerate after the corner. And what that does is puts less load through the tyres while you're turning, equals less wear. Might actually have to brake even earlier for turn 2. That was late. We've not been in the 31s for a while. Yeah, I'm struggling to get it slowed down now. So even though I thought I was braking a fairly early point, I need to brake earlier. I think I'm actually losing time going through there in 3rd gear. I'm going to see if I can get back to doing it before, see if we gain time back or whether it's just the grip's not there now. I braked at the same point and it was too late. Grip's not quite there, or I was just a bit too quick. Okay, I lost just as much time. So yeah, I think I'll use 3rd gear. Too wide that. give you a crazy tip now as well. If you stay on the brakes too long heading into turn 1, the car won't turn. Better. So braking early has big advantages, because it means you can get the car slowed down enough and then get off the brakes so it turns in better. Okay, so that's the 30-minute mark. Ooh, was on the brakes too late. That was not a nice hit on the curb. Okay, so that rear left's going to start struggling now. Okay, it's not liking me touching the brakes. A big problem with that rear left tyre is that as I lean on it around many of the corners around this track, it's not going to grip. Okay, so braking that touch earlier, I can do it in second gear. minutes to go. I'll see if I can get below the 33s again, but better. It's not quite there anymore. Basically, any time there's any force put on that rear left tyre, it's just not got any grip. I had a big loss of grip in the middle of the penultimate corner. Rear left is struggling for grip now on turning. Okay, for the last, 8 laps or so, have been quite horrible to drive. And given the amount of time lost in the last 10 laps, I'd have been better off picking let's do a few laps on a new set. It'll give me an idea as well then of the difference in feel from worn to new. And also if I go out now without really trying, I'm in the 131s, then yeah, it's definitely worth pitting. Oh, so much easier to turn in now. Offline then. Church late then. Okay, so we're back into the 131. I'm just going to do a few laps braking at 100 metres just to show how bad it is, and also so I can do it, try it, so when other people try it, I know what they're doing. Yeah, there's no way that's stopping 100 metres. Now you may wonder why I didn't try turning in. Well, quite simply, if it ain't slowing down in a straight line, it ain't going to slow down more by turning. Yeah, braking late in this car around here, not good. Right. Well, I've learned what I needed to learn there about the tyres. I don't know whether the lap times are relevant to anybody else, I don't know. But what I was looking for there was how the wear was feeling, whether I ended up pushing too much early on, and I wouldn't say that I did. I mean, like I've mentioned it before, around this track, if you end up with worn tyres and you're either oversteering or understeering, it is a nightmare, because you need the stability through 1 and 2, and if you haven't got that, then your tyres are hot and perhaps dirty for 3, 4, 5, and you never really recover it. So looking at it, pitting would be the better way to go, unless I find something different in the next few days. But yeah, getting the braking point is so vital. I mean, I brought my braking point forward for turn 2. Well, I did it for turn 1, and I was able to straddle the apex curb pretty much every lap, which is exactly where I want to be. For turn 2, bringing the braking point forward allowed me to use second gear around the hairpin, which means you get less tyre wear because you're not using first gear. I will just show, actually, I'll show the points where I was braking. Now, something that I have realised recently is that given the different views that people use, what I'm using as a point on my screen may be slightly different in its ratio to what people may see on their screen, but I'll try and explain that. Okay, so for turn 1, I'm actually braking before the shadow. So for me, by before the shadow, I mean before the shadow disappears under my car. I'm on the brakes. This allows me to get off the brakes, be in third gear, straddle the apex curb, and because I'm not on throttle through the corner, if I hit the apex curb too hard, I know to come off the steering. So it's all actually done quite slow, but it works out quite fast. So looking at the view, so if you're on bonnet view, then you're going to be wanting to be braking about a car length before the end of the shadow, and if you're on bonnet view, you're going to be, the front bumper view, you're going to want to be braking before the shadow has passed your rev gauge that goes horizontally across the screen. So one thing that I know has been happening to a couple of people recently is when I've been saying, for example, here, brake at the end of the shadow, some people have been braking at that point, but unfortunately that would be too late. So that's why I'm trying to show the different views there. So as I mentioned, for me in car view, it's just where it disappears under the car. So bonnet view, I mean, looking at it as well, where's the, I'm trying to look, it's probably about 100, it is about 125 metres. Where's the 50 metre marker board? There. So yeah, it is about 125 meters to brake with this car. If this was a Group 3 or a Group 2, you could brake much later, but it's not. So as I said, brake at that point. You can then keep it in third gear, be off the brakes when you're turning in, and ideally you want to just cheekily straddle the curb. And then at this point you want to be already coming off the steering. Okay, so turn 2. Going to stop here a second. Okay, ahead of us we can see there's kind of like 3 patches of, so like we've got a nice grey racetrack, then it's kind of like there's a bit patchy, then there's a nice grey racetrack, then there's a darker patch, then there's a tyre mark line going into the eventual final braking area. It's handy to look ahead for these things, because once you start seeing these things and specifically looking for them, you'll then pick them up in your peripheral vision. Okay, so the braking point for me, where I was able to take it in second gear, no wheel spin, was about here. So in front of me is the braking marks, the rubber marks on the road. Now I tried braking literally just before them, but it was a little too late. I started braking at around about this point, and I was able to comfortably make the corner every single time, pretty much second gear, and if I did outbrake myself a tiny little bit, I was able to knock it down to first to save myself, but still make the apex. Whereas if you brake if you're braking further up the road here than I am, if you then make a mistake and brake too late, you end up going off the road. So show it on the different views. So on the bonnet view, let's see, on the left side there's one red part of the curb, a white part of the curb, and then another red part of the curb. And the third red curb is about where the braking marks start. So we're looking at about 3 red curbs before that. It does look like it's very early, but it works. Again, we're going to be, yeah, it's about 125 meters. Now for anyone using the front of the camera, you just see the darker part there. So where the horizontal rev gauge is, that's where the rubber starts getting darker, but you want to be braking around about here. So like I say, it is about 125 meters, and that'll make this corner so much better for you. Now for down here, this one's fairly simple really. It's 125 meters. Now there isn't really any marking that you can see, or that I can see. Personally, I'm just sort of winging it, like judging whereabouts 125 meters will be. You'll know when you've got it wrong because you slide further away from the apex. You are much better off braking a touch too soon here and being able to come off the brakes than braking a touch too late here and not being able to stop. And one thing I would recommend for people is to don't creep towards the corner too soon. Stay over the left if you can, unless you're side by side or you're wanting to defend, but don't turn in until round about here towards the end of the curb. So brake in a nice straight line, and then try and be off the brakes if you can when you're turning in, and roll around the corner. Right, there you go. Right, I'm done. I've been on a bit longer than I wanted to be, so have a good one everybody, and I'll see you all again soon.